Welcome to IRONBROS episode 3. Today your hosts are simply me, Sir Kyle. Our lovely other host has yet to arrive at the gym. We had scheduled our podcast to start approximately 15 minutes ago. So, Grant, would you like to fill in today?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, hopefully he gets here soon. Bro, he's not even back in the gym yet. He's
Like
already
father, like son.
late.
Perhaps the tardiness of me once or twice in my life has rubbed
Kyle,
off.
you have rubbed off on us in a very strong way. Like,
Yeah, all around.
I never used to be late to shit.
You never used to be like, what?
Late to shit.
Do you think you're late now?
100%. I'm on Kyle time.
Wait, what is Kyle time?
Wait, you never
You
heard
have a term for this?
Yes.
Where did it originate? Because I haven't been made aware of this.
So essentially it's, all right, cool, I'll see you in 5, or I'll be there in 10. It usually means like, okay, in reality, if he says 5, it's 10 or 15. If he says 15, it's 20 to 25.
So you add 5 or 10.
Yeah. Oh, he's here.
Wow.
I
Hello,
was
Anthony.
telling you about Kyle time.
You guys already start?
We did start. We tried to delay, but we delayed 15 minutes. But it's okay.
20, actually. I'm 23 minutes late.
Why?
I was eating my meal. My meal plan I never got yet, actually.
So when you're late at like soccer practice, what would happen?
That actually never happened because it was all on my parents' timing,
If
not
someone
mine.
else was late, what would happen?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to other
Well, in sports, like
my
in
teammates.
basketball and even in baseball, they make you run a lot. So I think perhaps
want me
maybe
to
it's a
run?
good idea if you run. You do a little suicide or something.
Funny.
It's okay, though. But Grant was sharing with us how I think there's something called Kyle time.
Yes. Kyle time is basically when you, well, Kyle time is what a person first gets introduced to. It's your time, and it's always late to the set standard time you're supposed to meet up. So once we became very close with you and hung out with you a lot and set a lot of timing to meet you at, we became adapted to Kyle time, and now we are on Kyle's time, so we're always at least 15 to 20 minutes late to any event.
So even if I'm not present, it's just notorious now. It's just Kyle time.
Yes,
The Kyle
which
effect.
is crazy. Yeah,
That's cool,
that really
that's
did
cool.
happen.
Glad I have an impact like that. Very influential, I guess.
Yeah, in some negative ways.
Awesome. Great. So,
You introed it
Basically-
and everything?
yeah, I'd say we introed it.
How did you intro it? Like happy? Kyle happy?
It
Kyle's
wasn't
happy?
bad. It was okay. I would redo it if I could, but it was okay.
It's all right. Cool. So,
So,
how are you, man? What's new? What's new with you?
I'm doing good, man. I had PT again this week. Getting tired of PT, but it's been proven to be
It's helping,
beneficial.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. You know what? How many pound dumbbell skull crushers I did?
20 pounds?
5.
Oh, I thought you said. All right.
Getting better.
I was going to say 20 for your tour tricep was pretty crazy.
No, yeah.
5, yeah, it's kind of slow.
Yeah.
But you'll get there one day. Like, I mean, look at Ian Valier, right? Valier.
No, yeah, I mean, he's a good example of someone that he had a really bad tear.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a scar.
So, other than that, this past weekend, do anything fun?
What did I do? Yes, actually. I started training again.
That is right.
So, recording of this podcast is a Wednesday, and technically yesterday, Tuesday, was my 4-week mark where I could technically train again.
Yeah.
But, dude, for some reason, Friday night, I was like going to bed, and I was like, I have the urge to train tomorrow. I'm like, it's so close. I kind of want to go in there. And Allie had work for like 2 hours, so I was like, you know what? She'd yell at me if I went to the gym. So I was like, I'm just going when she goes to work. So I went to the gym that day on Saturday. I did like hamstrings. Huh?
Sneaky boy.
I sneaked it, yeah. And then people were here like, what are you doing? I was like, just don't tell Allie I was here. I'm like, she'll beat me up. So I trained. I did hamstrings. I think that was really it.
Does she know you went?
I told her after. Yeah, I don't
Was she
hide
mad?
shit. No, I didn't. That day I didn't. I didn't post it on Instagram that day. But yeah, it was funny. I saw like Ray, Vanessa, and everything like that. I was like, just don't tell Allie. So, you know, I trained Friday and Saturday. I kind of messed up my days there. But Saturday had arms,
Yeah.
and then I rested Sunday. Monday I trained again. I started my actual new split.
So how's it been? Are you happier overall that you're back in the gym? You sore?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
This soreness is a new level. I'm sure you've experienced it.
For sure. I think it's kind of. I look back
Refreshing
sometimes
and
and I'm
nice.
like, yeah, it's cool. You get a better
yeah.
pump. You
Uh-huh.
feel the muscle better.
Yeah, no, I agree. So like for example, the one arm day I did, super minimal. like 3 exercises for each for bicep and tricep. And what I'm doing differently in my whole approach now in my training going into this, I guess, training again, right? I'm trying to do less feeder sets, or if I do less feeder sets, it's also going to be for less reps, because I felt like I always used to milk that a little too much where I'd exhaust myself. So literally I've been doing like maybe an extra pin stack. I've been going down for a bigger jump, and maybe like 3 reps, that's it. And I did it yesterday, and like literally my top set felt better. My strength was the same on lat pull downs today after my 4-week offness compared to when I was training.
Well,
so that was awesome.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. And I sent you a happy text this morning that I was 219
in weight already. So,
yeah.
No, I think you'll get right back into it, and your body should feel rejuvenated because you had a nice little break.
Yeah.
It wasn't too long, but it was long enough, I think, to reset.
For sure. All the injuries I had going on in me are definitely gone. And then, there was a couple of kids here yesterday that drove down from North Jersey, and they were talking to me, and they were like saying, they're asking me how my training was going back into it, right? Yeah. And I told them, I was like, dude, like, if I give you one piece of advice, it'd be like to take like more rest days / take like a week off break, because it's not going to hurt you. No. And I was like, I asked them, I was like, hey, I bet the only time you've taken more than a couple of days off is when you were sick. And they were like, yeah. I was like, now imagine you took those couple of days off in a healthy state when you're not sick. Probably feel really good again.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that it's just people don't want to do because everyone thinks more.
They just love the gym. They love.
Yeah, the more they put into the gym, the more they get out. But it's almost the opposite sometimes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of going viral right now on like TikTok Reels and Instagram. I don't know if you've seen them or if you even scroll through that stuff. But bodybuilding legend Mike Menser has been talking a lot about, or his philosophies was very low volume, high intense training. And he goes in, one of the clips I saw is actually him saying he would train a day, his clients, and then give them 2 days rest. Which, who knows if that was true or exaggerated to a degree. Right. But he's basically saying a lot of people are overtraining, killing themselves, doing too much volume, and not prioritizing the rest period.
Yeah. And I think, I guess the key principle to pay attention to is most of the time those are people that are training like efficiently and effectively. They know how to train versus just going through the motions. Because I don't want like overtraining to kind of, people throw that term around, but you have to know how to train to be overtrained.
For sure.
You know?
I could never gauge overtraining. A year ago, I'd say couldn't gauge it, but how I've been like gauging it recently, my last push when I was kind of at the end of that push before I had surgery, definitely overtraining. Because I was doing.
What indicators do you use to deem, hey, I think I'm overtraining a little bit?
So I first assessed with how I felt, and also going back to photos. So first off, how I felt, right? My body was taxed. I had an injury going on, and my muscles were sore. Like, I guess sore is not the best indicator to use, but they were like overly hurting. Yeah. To the fact where I was like dragging through my workouts. I was dragging, but I was pushing hard because I always wanted to beat my last whatever. I wanted progressive overload, but I was definitely feeling it because, like, dude, like I was struggling to put my socks on to bend over. Like, first indicator right there. Yeah. And then you go back on photos where I was like, all right. I was looking back like 2 months ago. I get it, me and you like changed calories and stuff like that. So yes, I will get fatter and softer. But my physique at the end of my push looked a little more, I guess I want to use the term, kind of bloated, but just like didn't look efficient compared to a couple of months prior, 2 months prior. My waist looked a little bit bigger. My muscles looked a little more faded. I was a couple of pounds up. That could be why, but I also just knew I was tired.
No, I think a couple of things. Like if someone asked me how I would quantify or what would qualify to be overtraining, I would say, I guess, progression in the gym, right? If you're stagnant for weeks on end, no matter how you're changing your training. Yeah. If you're achy, I think there's a distinct difference between being achy and then your muscles being sore, like DOM setting in 2 to 3 days later, you know? Yeah. I think your pumps in the gym are a really good indicator. Usually. Sure. Yeah. Especially, you know, people think it's always carbohydrates that are going to give you a pump, and my carbs is low, I can't get a pump. It's just hydration and salt and sodium, right? That's what's going to give you a pump. But if you're in the off season, and you're well above maintenance calories, and you can't get a pump consistently, there's something wrong, right? Maybe you're mentally just not focused, but typically it's like, hey, your body's a little tired, and then you might also notice when you're sleeping, you wake up.
I was about to say sleep, right?
Rested, right? So now I'm sure when you took 4 weeks off, your sleep at first, maybe, you're not used to taking off, but after a week or two, you start to get in a different rhythm when you're sleeping. You wake up a little more refreshed, and I just think that's the main thing to kind of look for,
Is it just me, or is the volume on the weight slam a little bit higher today?
Yeah, I think behind me they're a little angry. Maybe there were a few comments from our first podcast where they questioned why we were doing it in the gym.
We'll go over that in a sec, because I want to talk about the sleep a little bit more, but yeah, I also want to address that too. So, my sleep when I was not training, I was waking up a lot more. I was waking up, I think, 4 times throughout the night to always pee. Mm-hmm. But I also think that was because of maybe the less glycogen I have. Is that a possibility?
I mean, maybe you're excreting more at first,
because I always drink a lot before bed to take my pills, health supplements, so chugging water. But I always wake up like an hour after I fall asleep, annoying as hell. And then I wake up at like 3, 5, 7, and then finally at 8.
When you wake up, is this more of like you have to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, I wake up. So, dude, I'm weird as shit. I'm weird. I have superstitions, and I got rid of them for like a couple months, but they started coming back.
What are these superstitions?
I used to do them a lot in prep, but sometimes I'll get like a thought in my mind. Let's say like last night was a great example. If let's say like sometimes it's late at night, like you change into your pajamas, whatever, right? You leave like your dirty clothes, like maybe on the floor or something like that. It kind of irks me, and I'll be like, oh, the best thing to do would be put in the laundry. I'm like, nah, dude, just leave it. I'm like, little voice in my head's like, put it in the laundry. I'm like, oh, so I have to go up, pick it up, put it in the laundry. I'm like, now we can sleep. Or sometimes, like, if I'm walking somewhere, I'm like, that looks out of place. I'm like, I gotta fix that, or else I'm not gonna have a good sleep. I'll literally say that in my brain, and I have to fix it.
Interesting.
You don't get that at all?
No, I'm trying. As you were kind of reciting that to me, I'm trying to think of things that I might do that are weird, but
yeah.
I can't think of a prevalent thing that comes to mind of recent. But I have those moments to where it's not something a normal person would have to do, but for some reason I trick myself into thinking like, let me do that now to make something better.
Yeah, I just I have these things sometimes, and it's just me being weird in my head. But like last night, obviously training for like 4 days so far, and I only woke up I think once.
That's good.
Yeah, I didn't have to pee as much, and I don't know if that's because I'm like now retaining more water because I've been on top of my sodium, electrolyte.
I mean, perhaps the muscles, the water's gonna be pulled in your muscles more, but I guess that's why I mentioned, I think it was yesterday, I started wearing I have an Apple Watch. I just never wore it ever.
Yeah.
But I've just been trying to track my sleep a little bit more. That's why I asked. I think Allie has one, not you, right?
Yeah, Allie.
But I think it's a good measure to at least keep track of this. Who is behind me?
Not the biggest fellow.
Kids slamming their weights, man. Irks me.
Yeah. But I want to get into, there's a couple of things that you said there that I wanted to get into. So first off, you talk about electrolytes, right?
Yeah.
Recently, I think it was 2 days ago, Gorilla Mind released a new electrolyte formula packet, like 1 serving type of like drip IV, those packets, right?
Yeah.
And bro, what are you going to do? You're going to yell at him? You're in a gym. You're the one doing a podcast in the gym. You can't yell at the dude.
No, I can't yell at him. I can ask him to control the weight a little bit.
Yeah, you should actually go over there. We should intervene, and you should coach him through a set, and then tell him to control the negative, and then slightly.
I can only
drop
imagine
it.
how this. I have no idea who's lifting, but I can just imagine there is no focus on the eccentric at all. And on the last rep, he lets go of the weight.
He was kind of like bobbing his head. It looks like he's like dancing more to his music than training. But anyway, so Gorilla Mind released a new electrolyte, right?
Okay, little packet. You're saying?
What?
Pour the packet in like
Yeah,
water
little
bottle
packet
type thing.
So I texted Jesse. I was like, "Hey, Jesse, is this a good product?" Like being curious, right? And he was like, "Yeah, it's good. It's just really salty." I was like, "That's fine. It's like an electrolyte thing, right?" So I looked at the prices online, and for like 30 servings, it was $45. So it's $1.50 a serving. And I was like, "Damn!" I was like, "I'm not spending that much money on products." So I looked at the ingredients, and it had like sodium, potassium, iodine, and on their like swiping photos on the website, like it says like iodine it's not is it a nutrient? No, but it's like a electrolyte a lot of people miss, supposedly.
Yeah, it's in certain salt. Like it won't be in pink Himalayan salt.
Yes, it's an iodized salt.
Correct.
So I went to the grocery store like literally right after I sent that Jesse that text. I picked up Morton's iodized salt, and
Blue bottle.
yes, with the umbrella.
Yes.
The lady with the umbrella,
Yes.
and the salt raining on her. And then a potassium. There's a salt substitute salt
salt.
called potassium or new.
Yes. Yep.
But they didn't have new. They had Morton again.
Okay.
So I picked up those two things, and I looked at it, looked at my receipt. I paid $7 for a 573 serving thing of iodized salt, and that iodized salt has 60 micrograms of iodine and like 535 milligrams of sodium, versus Gorilla had 50 micrograms of iodine per serving. So right then and there, right, I just 500 servings for $7 for like $5, and my potassium salt was like $2, and that has the same amount of potassium, and I can make it the same amount of potassium as Gorilla's. Granted, I will be missing some of the vitamins they add to it, and other stuff, but
flavoring probably.
And the
too,
flavoring,
right? Yeah.
But like I'm getting my electrolytes in, right, for a cheaper alternative. I got my sodium in, iodine, potassium, and yes, it's gonna taste salty, but just to add flavoring, you can use Mio or something simple like that, or just add it to your intra-workout.
A lot of the products, they're all-in-one type products, right?
Yes.
So rather than pretty much any of these great products from any company, you can look at the ingredients, and if you do some research, you realize, hey, I can buy all these individual ingredients and make my own concoction.
Yeah.
So that's why you see a lot of companies do those one-offs of specific, whether it's just creatine, glycerol, things like that, right? But no, that's cool. I think it's smart, and you should notice you probably get better pumps as well.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool and neat. So go into the comments you saw about the podcast. Right now at this time, we only have one podcast up.
Yeah.
But this is our third one, so we're a little bit ahead, which is cool. We're making sure we get these podcasts out for you guys. Feedback so far has been great. People actually in the gym Iron have been coming up to me. People I've never spoken to before saying they watched it. That was really cool. They're like, "Hey, dude, podcast was awesome," and that's a really cool feeling. It's like something new for us, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's already surpassed our goal originally for that first one,
Yeah, I think it's at 10K, right? And it's at
Yeah.
16 now.
which is
Yeah.
awesome for the
Yeah.
first one, So I think it should only grow from here. And as far as the comments, a lot of them were positive comments. I think there were a few, maybe one or two, literally.
Do you let the negative ones hit you? Do you let
No,
it take
I
over
just
your
read it.
heart?
I just try to take everything with a grain of salt, even a positive comment. But the negative one was more of like, why would you do this in the gym? And I guess there's a few factors here, right? It's not like we just
We didn't
ransacked the gym, right?
Correct.
We know the owner. We had this conversation a very long time ago. We were just slow in
The
brand
process.
was slow in coming back. That's the reality.
That was
of
the
it.
issue. Yeah, Grant.
So-
Screw you, man. You were the issue. We didn't start this podcast. It's a joke. Complete joke. Never mind. Grant. Kyle was saying something.
So now that he's back, so we finally got it started. And
Yep.
then we also do this not in the middle of the gym.
Yep.
So as far as people being in the background,
No one.
it's no different from any of our any video that any of you and your buddies do, or any of my clients are filming in a gym,
Yeah.
right? So no one has ever came up and said, hey, I don't want to be in that video. Not at this gym. The franchise gyms are retro.
If you're going
Sure.
to this gym, you're aware that people film content here,
Yeah.
which sometimes people use this gym to film content and not content for actually working out, which is annoying. Which, hang on, sounds like I'm being a what's that word I'm looking for? We're a hypocrite, because we're using this not for bodybuilding right now.
Correct.
But when people use machines for a fucking reel or a TikTok video,
Yeah.
and it's not for real working out, that pisses me off. But yeah, that comment, I saw that too. And they don't know the situation, which that's what, when I read it at first, I was like, they don't know the situation, so it doesn't affect me.
Right.
Like, they don't know that we're really good friends with the owner. We've been here before anyone.
Literally, we're like the first.
We were the first people to ever train
people
here. And think about this in like a relationship way, right? Iron Revolution is literally shown in the background. People know this is here, and they want to check out the gym after this, so it helps both sides here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then there was one other. Was that so? The comment you sent me last night, was that on the podcast channel?
Yeah, from your friend.
I didn't want to bring it up, but that's hysterical.
Yeah, I found it comical. I just happened to look to see where their views were. I was trying to gather some ideas, and then I saw that, and I just kind of laughed.
I didn't even see it, so I
Yeah.
don't even care. That is funny stuff.
So, this past weekend with Texas Pro,
Yes.
What'd you
Oh,
think?
I didn't talk about that. I thought it was a great show. I think my prediction actually beat yours.
it did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought Hunter would be a little sharper for that second show.
I knew Andrew Jack. Damn. I knew Andrew Jack was gonna be superior.
Yeah.
So going into it, obviously Andrew won. If you guys don't know, Andrew Jack won. Keon Pearson won 212. Men's physique, I'm not too sure. And then classic physique was, I don't know, I forget his name, but he's a Korean bodybuilder, he's a top 15 Olympian. No one really was predicting him to win. It was like Logan Franklin and Robert Timms, who goes by like Mr. Classic Physique on Instagram.
Right.
And then I actually had Robert Timms winning. He came in second, but the Korean guy looked really good.
No, but I think at least I think Keon was a clear runaway.
Yeah, he looked great.
Yeah, he did really really well. It was the best showing I've really seen of him.
Uh huh.
In terms of open bodybuilding, I thought we knew who to be between those top two for
Yeah.
sure. Carlos did really good for his debut.
Yeah.
Last time he competed,
Was Nationals of your show, right? With
my
you.
show, and he beat me. He was very bubbly and
Can't
always
touch
had a
that.
great future, man. Always had a good future. So, congrats to him on his third place
That's awesome.
debut.
Yeah. So, Andrew, I want to talk about Carlos real quick before we get back into Andrew.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it, right? I was like, I'm curious, because Carlos was supposed to compete a month or two before, actually, but he dropped out of the show. And I was curious because he technically beat Justin Shire. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, but he beat him in the overall at Nationals where you competed. And I was curious how they were both going to do at their first pro shows.
Right.
Justin won the Chicago, right? And then Carlos got third, but it was a really stacked show. So
arguably,
arguably they're probably at the same level.
Yeah, I think Justin's made leaps and bounds of progress for sure.
Yes, for sure.
I think who had won the overall at Nationals?
Nationals, Carlos.
Carlos did.
Yeah.
I don't think he was even as sharp as Justin, and he still won.
Yeah, he was
based on
just a
shape
freak
alone.
factor, bubbly. Yeah.
So no, Carlos can do really well, and that'll carry him. So when he comes in shape, now that he is,
Yeah.
in my opinion, for the first time, he'll do really well.
Yeah. No, Andrew Jacked, I'm a big fan of his physique. I think what he brings to the stage is what I look for in a bodybuilder, right? Because so when I was younger and I heard about bodybuilding, they always talk about you need proportions, you need symmetry, you need aesthetics, you need conditioning, you need size. And then lately, I feel with the open, a lot of it is size, right? It's been mass monsters, size. Granted, Andrew Jack's a mass monster, both class.
Yeah.
I think what makes him so classy is his waistline and his abs. I'm a big
waistline.
fan of his core.
I don't know if you saw Tyler Mannion. right?
I didn't watch the video. I watched 2 minutes of it, then I skipped it.
Yeah, so he's been putting out a lot of feedback on hey, this is what we look for. This is who won each pose.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was quoted saying that Andrew has the best ab and thigh in the entire pro league.
This is so funny because I told you about this. A kid messaged me, and he was like, he said I had abs like Keon. I took it as an insult.
Yeah.
Because Keon's abs don't go the way they should. They go, instead of inward like this, smaller, they go like
A
this.
little bit out. Yeah.
And it looks weird because he has all kind of no muscle in the middle. And then I was like, dude, the best bodybuilder with the best core is Andrew Jacked. And he said something stupid no, it's some random bodybuilder. I was like, no, Andrew Jacked,
heard it
best
from the
abs.
head honcho.
Yeah.
So no, Andrew, great physique. He's a big frame, man. He can be really, really good. So he's already really good, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. He could be at the top tier.
That was the best package he brought so far, right?
I think so.
I think so, yeah, because he was more conditioned than the Olympia. And I think his Olympia was his best showing before that.
Yeah.
And then there was side-by-side photos I saw of his hamstring glute
I was going to
development.
say that the only thing that's tough with the side by side is the lighting at all these shows for
Are
whatever
different.
unknown reason.
Yeah.
is always different.
Yeah.
They really should just get the same production team.
Yeah.
The same lights. Doesn't matter where they are, they can replicate it. That would be most ideal.
For sure.
But
But yeah, anyways, he definitely did have improvements in his hamstring and glutes,
sure.
which was awesome. And when I'm okay, so when I was watching the show go on, a lot of people were saying Hunter's back is so much better. Now, when they say back, do they mean his back shot as a whole from the ground up or his physical back?
I think they mean his back. I think there were some missing pieces to the link.
And
then also,
Andrew?
With who? Hunter or Andrew?
They were saying Hunter has a better back.
Overall.
You think so?
I think he's more bubbly. He has more muscle there. Andrew's a taller frame, so it takes him a little bit more muscle to fill out, I'd say.
All right. For
But-
me, I like Andrew's back. If I was a judge,
Yeah.
I like Andrew's back a lot more. I
I
think,
think you
it's
look at Hunter, it's more of a 3D type back, like
Yeah.
a Lunsford,
okay.
But again, I think Andrew, he has more potential to fill out, right?
Yeah.
There's more available space to keep putting on muscle, whereas Hunter, it's not only so much you can put on it when you have a frame like that.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about I never open up like this about bodybuilding, but in terms, I
boy.
think Andrew is a much better bodybuilder than Hunter.
Like today.
In my yes, and his progression where he's going, I think
For
so.
sure. I think Hunter's been in the limelight for many years, and I don't know for what known reason, with all the experience his father had and just his sports system, he used to just drink these shakes, which was the dumbest thing. I don't understand why people
He
ever
fixed
blend
that
meals.
supposedly a couple
This
months ago.
past year,
Yeah.
he's fixed it, and he's had immense improvements since. So it's kind of just I don't know what took so long to do that, but I don't know. Like I said, people that blend food, I
Yeah.
see it all the time. It just doesn't make sense. So how much that limited some of his progress over the years, I don't know. It definitely affected his midsection. And then
About
I
his
think it
mid-
also
yeah.
comes down to, at the end of the day, like when you have two bodybuilders, maybe they're on par with each other in terms of conditioning or size, or one is more of a mass monster, one's more aesthetic. It comes down to posing, and you can clearly see on stage.
Andrew had better.
Anybody could see
Yeah.
a still shot and say, okay, this person won the pose, but the transitions you don't
Conditioning-wise,
see, how long
yeah.
you hold the pose, how fast you get into the pose. You can tell who trains and practices their posing versus who just kind of goes up there nonchalantly.
Yeah.
So I think that plays a role too in why he lost.
Yeah. Yeah, with Hunter's physique too, right? He said his waist kind of went, right?
Over the years, a little bit.
I noticed whenever he's like a front double shot, you go from like the X frame, so his quads, and we go to his waist, right, the smallest point. But then when you go to his obliques and his stomach, it like bubbles up again.
Yeah.
Instead of it being like a nice sharp taper, like a
usually
V,
that's a-
it's a bubble, and then back to lats bubbling up.
Yeah.
And
So
it
it
was
used to
like-
be much worse. So
Yeah.
he's improved it immensely this past year. And I attribute that to probably poor digestion.
Yeah.
You can look into, okay, maybe it's like the growth insulin route. I don't know Hunter personally or his
Yeah.
circle. But I think it was always, especially for the fact that it's improved so much, I think it was just a digestion thing. He just wasn't digesting the food as much as
He should
maybe he
have.
thought he was, or how
Yeah.
a person really should.
Now I remember Nick Walker used to have like a gut issue. People used to call him out for that. Are you aware of what he did to fix his gut? Because it came in much better.
Well,
I don't think it's an issue anymore for him, right?
No, so I think it comes down to food and
Yeah.
digestion for sure. At the time, I don't think he ever was excessive with. I don't want to talk specific dosages, but I know he wasn't excessive with things. It didn't help perhaps when he was putting on a lot of size at first. But it's a food thing, man. If you're eating tons of food and every meal has 320 grams of rice, you're gonna take anybody's stomach and it's gonna start to distend them a little bit. Factor in heavy training, maybe doing exercises that you don't necessarily need to do that are loading the core more than they should. That's gonna make anyone
Yeah.
grow, right? So him being more specific with how he's training, abdominal control, he practices his posing a shit ton.
He does. He
That
practices-
is all helps bring that waist in.
Back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. The show this week was honestly, I was looking forward to the show for weeks. So I was really happy with the outcome of all of that.
No, I agree.
Sorry. Had a
Next
burp.
line of business.
Next line of business. What is it, Kyle?
I don't know. It's the weight slamming, man. It's so on my mind.
All right, we pre-planned this a little bit. We kind of wanted to talk about things that bother us. What was it? Pet peeves in the gym type of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your biggest pet peeves. You keep playing footsies with me.
Bro, because your foot's so stretched
My
out. Let me
foot
get
hasn't
some
moved
room.
because it's my bad quad because somebody
Mother.
contributed to my bad quad. Anyway,
And you ask me why I feel bad.
oh, you feel bad?
No. No heart.
Good.
Yeah, pet peeves in the gym.
So, I don't know. We can go back and forth like a little battle.
I name one, you name one, just
Yeah,
like kind of
we
hit
can
it.
Do that. All right.
All
We
right.
can start. Like, what triggers you, or what have you seen to be a little too reoccurring, for a normal person? You think it's kind of bothersome?
My first one is slide/Crocs in the gym.
You don't like them?
I fucking hate. Why? Your Croc has no protection over your foot, and like I doubt it has very great stability in terms of. It's like a slide. It shifts. Right? That's my opinion.
Safe to use. I mean, you see people training with them like during a set.
Oh, I've seen people train legs in slides. I've seen Anton use slides on leg press. I'm like, what are you doing?
I think that's kind of stupid.
I think it's silly. That's just me.
Doesn't make sense.
I think Crocs are ugly as shit, but I just hate Crocs and slides in the gym.
You're not an owner of any Crocs.
Funny story.
Oh boy.
This almost made me believe Santa was real. So one Christmas in elementary school, I wanted Crocs for some reason, but I was embarrassed to admit it, so I don't think I told anyone. That Christmas, I got Crocs. I don't know how I was like, bro, I don't remember telling anyone. So when I opened it, I was like shocked. I didn't want to admit that I wanted it. So I was like, I didn't want this, and I didn't accept the gift.
You're a weird kid, man.
Bro, because I was embarrassed to admit that I wanted Crocs at one point. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
You know?
I guess I had to tell like my mom or something like that.
And if she's hearing this for the first time,
She remember her saying like, "Oh, we'll give it to our neighbor Judy because she wears Crocs." I don't know, bro. But if you're younger watching this, Santa's not real. Santa's not real.
You know, that's really spreading up bad information here.
Kyle, we have teenagers and Sarb goblins watching this.
The Sarm goblins. They get them from Santa.
Is that one of your pet peeves?
What, Sarm goblins? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what the hell is so popular about Sarms.
So it's Sarms itself that's bothering you, not the kids, not the personalities of the kids.
No, I mean, kids are always going to want to look a certain way, doing the least amount of work as possible, right? No one wants to say, hey, it takes 10 years.
But what if these kids are actually working really hard and just enhancing their
You're
physical
16, 17. How hard are you working? It takes years to accumulate
All right, whatever.
size, right?
Okay.
But going this SARM route, or, you know, if you're of age, I'm not condoning use steroids.
But just
But when you see blood
yeah.
work consistently and you compare the two versus someone, hey, this is what I'm using, and it's more of an anabolic, and then they're using these SARMs. When the SARMs are consistently providing more negative results, that's a problem,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's a little frustrating.
I might be ruining the frame here, but I need to adjust my posture.
Okay, buddy.
So, what your pet peeve was SARMs?
we'll start with
SARMs.
time. We'll go back and forth. This would be fun.
Yeah, okay,
We'll
so my
rapid
turn.
fire.
My turn. You know, it really grinds my gears sometimes. What was it? Oh, I hate when people ask to work in on a machine because, like, this is going to, like, give me a moment here. Don't jump the gun and judge me. So,
Asshole.
just call me an asshole.
Asshole.
So, personally, I don't like to work in with random people.
Get your own gym.
I don't have
Go
the
on,
funds
go
for that. Reason why, especially a great example is like the pec deck, right? If you're doing a pec deck and you're actually using the resistance profiles and you're doing a fly, the person wants to work in, do rear delts, and the person's different height as you, just different, complete everything. They're moving the seats, they're moving all the handles, doing all this shit. And then sometimes it makes you, depending on who the person is, makes you either feel rushed or it makes you get in your head like you're taking too much time.
Yeah.
So if you can block that out of your head, fine. But to me, if I get constantly asked like, hey, the best is like, hey man, how much you got left? And like I just started, I tell them like, I'm not like, hey man, I got no clue, like I just started. And then they come back like, you almost done? Or how many more sets you got left? I'm like, I'll give them like a number, like 10 minutes, I'll be done.
So you know what I started doing? Whenever someone comes up to me, let's just say any machine.
Yeah.
So I think there's certain machines people shouldn't ask to work in on to begin with, as you said, because everything adjusts on it.
Agreed.
But if you just came over to
If it's an easy machine, yeah.
whatever machine,
Yeah.
and you said, how many sets you have left, I give a specific amount of minutes that I know in my head. If I have 3 sets left, like I know maybe I'm just getting to my working sets, I'll calculate like my rest time real quick and then give that to them. That way, like you said, I don't feel pressured. They're not sitting there because the thing that
Counting your
bothers
sets.
me. I'll say I have 2 sets left, and they just post up right next to me.
Yeah.
Like, go the fuck away.
Yeah, I give people courtesy. I'm like, yesterday I wanted to work in with the kid. I asked him how many sets he had left. Because sometimes in this gym, if you don't ask, or in any gym, right, if you don't ask for a machine, someone else will ask before you, then technically they have the first spot to that machine next. So you kind of have to ask. But it's about the people, how they are patiently waiting, right? So I literally posted up on the wall and, like, was chilling for a little bit, resting up. And I wasn't hounding him, wasn't over his shoulder, wasn't breathing on him, just letting him do his thing. And then he like looked over, looking around, like walked over, and I said, "Thanks, man." And that was it.
Nah, I think that's the main thing. But I think that comes down to like gym etiquette.
Yes, gym etiquette.
It's a little different these days, and I'm not gonna name specific people or specific instances.
Kids, no kids.
It's just the disconnect sometimes between those older bodybuilders
Yeah.
and the younger ones. You know, thinking they deserve respect, and it's not
Ah,
necessarily
yes,
about
older
that.
people. Yeah, yeah.
You know, I think people should put their weights back. They do a
Agreed.
pretty good job here, but if you go to some
Yeah.
other gyms, sometimes I
Oh,
take
isn't
this
like
for granted.
LA,
honestly.
isn't LA Fitness the worst with that?
Yeah,
Every LA I've been
Fitness,
to
like
is just
when I used
shit.
to, even if I went back there now, I went back there maybe a year ago when I could lift. And if you go after like 4 p.m.,
Weights
so
are
the
all
gym's
over
been-
the place.
Yeah, like the dumbbells are not next to each other, which is the craziest thing. You would think they would be in order.
Yeah.
So you take for granted, like, hey, if
A
you,
nice
you can
gym
look
like
at this
this, yeah.
rack right now and know, all right, the 20s are missing. You don't have to like think maybe the 20s are by the 150s.
Yeah.
You know?
That's crazy. That is crazy. But that's funny. So when you mentioned how you mentioned, gosh, my grammar's awful. I failed all my teachers. When you mentioned, right, that you mentioned,
What the fuck are you saying?
having a moment. When you said
Yep.
you say minutes
Yes.
instead of sets,
Right.
I think that could start a new trend. When people ask it, they all say minutes now.
I think it's just helpful because
it's-
honestly,
yeah.
it lets you know Because if I say 2 sets, and there are 2
counting.
sets of how I used to do things,
Uh-huh.
that could be 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I also think it's rude if you come over, I just got on. Like, it can come off a little different, so I don't want to come off douchey. So if I just say, hey, 10 minutes, and you come back and it's 8 minutes, fuck off. Like, I told you 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's the main thing, especially
Okay.
if you come at the wrong time. So most people don't have the luxury of coming whenever. They're forced to perhaps come during that rush hour. So it gets a little tough. So who's up?
You.
Me. Okay.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I have a lot, man. I'll be honest.
Say it.
I guess we have to just touch on the obvious here. It is more of everyone films everything.
Like us filming a podcast in the gym.
Aside from that, but more
So
so,
content creation in the gym is where you're going.
I think
with.
it's just out of control. I think it's very much more than I've ever seen it, and
Yeah.
I see it at other gyms too. It's not just like an iron thing. Obviously,
No,
this is
it's
more of
everywhere.
a certain culture here,
For
but
sure.
It's everywhere to where people they just started lifting.
and they're fit. Yeah,
They,
recording
like-
fitness content. Or
I
anything
was
like
always
that.
someone, man. I don't know. Maybe because I got into bodybuilding younger, and like I'm very like hypercritical of myself. Like I don't wear tank tops unless I have like I look a certain way. You'll see people here and anywhere really, that sometimes don't have the muscle at all, and like they're walking
Wow.
around and doing certain
You
posing.
judgy.
And I'm just
You
like,
judge,
come on,
bro.
man.
What if they were scared to go into the gym and they put on this tank top, excited to see
You
their
shouldn't be
muscles
wearing
go
a
up and
stringer
down?
with your nipples showing.
Okay,
You have no muscle.
stringer, sure. If they're wearing like a straight up bodybuilding stringer and they're a pequeño person with no muscle,
Which you see often.
okay, fine, fair. I'll accept that. But if the kid's wearing a tank top just into the gym,
No,
bro, he might be getting a
no,
wife
no.
beater from his parents, like, you know.
No.
No,
What
so
I'm getting at is those specific, the gym stringers are the ones
Yeah.
that are the worst with cameras. They
Yeah.
don't care about how their physique is.
uh-huh.
They don't wipe down machines after they're sweating their nasty SARM goblin sweat all over them, right? And then as far as the filming, it's just like they set the tripod up 25 feet away from the machine.
Yeah.
And I always like try to be considerate if I'm walking, like I'm not going to walk through
interrupt
it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think social media has like ruined the gym, for example.
Social
because,
media has ruined the gym.
Yeah. I think the reason why is because a lot of these kids see fitness influencers nowadays, right? And they're like, oh my God, this is what I want to do for my life.
Right.
I want to be a fitness influencer. So what they do is they come into the gym and that's their goal. It's no longer a physique goal. It's what content can I produce in this gym like a fitness influencer to become a fitness influencer myself, which is fucking sad and annoying.
And I think it's hard because at the end of the day, if someone were to ask you,
Yeah.
write down how, you would say,
Don't be a fitness influencer. Be yourself.
in terms of someone came up to you and said, I really want to do this. I already decided I want to do exactly what you do.
Some kid asked me that yesterday. Yeah.
The only thing you're going to have to tell them to kind of start, right?
Yeah.
But there's like a fine line between like excessive,
Yep.
unnecessary filming.
So, great example I can give you. So yesterday, there's kids I mentioned. I forget what I mentioned about at the beginning of the podcast, but there was kids I helped yesterday, right?
Right.
I helped a kid pose, and he's like, "Hey man, like they've been watching my videos for years." They said, and they said they want to be like just like me. They want to be a fitness influencer. And he was telling me he has a TikTok. He said he gets some views, but I told him I was like, "Dude, TikTok's a great app. I don't use it myself, but it's a great app to get your videos, get views, let people see who you are. But you have to make sure you can transition TikTok to another social media like Instagram or even better YouTube."
Right.
So he mentioned his content he's making right now is like guessing celebrities' maxes. He says it gets views, but it doesn't translate or transition into another social media. I was like, we got to understand why. I was like, that's because it's like interesting content. People are like, oh, they're curious, but they're not relating to you. They're not curious who you are. They're just curious in these videos you're putting out. So I was like, you got to think about that. I'm like, you're making these videos right now because you want to be a fitness influencer or just guessing celebrity maxes. But think about the long run, right? Fitness influencing, is that going to be your whole life? No. It's going to be your late teens to 20s, mid-20s / 20s, right? But I was like, what's going to be after that? I was like, I think about myself too. I'm like, right now, I'm a fitness influencer, right? I'm a bodybuilder as well, and my goal is to be a long-term bodybuilder. But granted, let's say something bad happens to me, I get a bad injury, career's over. What do I do? My approach now would probably be coaching. I'd love to be a great coach. I hope it's in my 30s when I'm older, not now, because I want to be a bodybuilder right now. But I just was like, dude, like a lot of these kids, they want to be fitness influencers. Like, you got to understand that, like, even when you are a fitness influencer, right, you could fall off. Your sponsorships, whatever it is your income source is, could fall off. Now what do? You got here to this point, but like, you got to think steps ahead.
Yeah, I don't think people
They don't
think like that.
because they see this lavish life of some fitness influencers with nice cars, right? This type of stuff, and they're like, oh my god, they get fame, whatever, likes. Like, I want to be like that because that's what's in. It's trendy, but they don't actually truly understand that. Just like with anything, bro, like it could be over in a second.
As quick as it came, as quick as it can go.
So that's crazy. But yeah, I definitely think now how a lot of kids join the gym and they immediately make content is what's ruining some gyms.
I just think the underlying thing, I try to, again, think of clients I have that are very successful.
Yeah.
Most of them have really good physiques already.
Mm-hmm.
They don't start with a trash physique.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. They're not the best of the best, but like they have a very aesthetically pleasing physique to begin.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm getting at is like if you don't have an aesthetically pleasing physique, and it was someone like me and I was like fat and bubbly,
Yeah.
I should probably try to get in shape first. That way I have maybe a story I can tell.
Yeah.
I've walked the walk a little bit, and then start posting things like that. Not copying
Immediately,
what
yeah.
I saw Anthony do this, I'm going to do this.
No, that's crazy. When I was younger, right? I was so critical of myself, which is an issue, to post content, so I never did, or I struggled to post because I was being so in my head and so critical. But nowadays, people don't care.
No, they don't.
I see some stupid. Oh my! I've seen some stupid shit recently on Instagram, like Explore page, where I've almost just blocked the creator because I don't even want to see it. And they probably follow me or look at my content, and they're just like, "What? Like, why did Anthony block me?" Like, I honestly just want to get to the point where I just block these people that just make the most horrible content I've ever seen in my life. Kyle, what do you think of dice rolling on stage? Men's physique. About to hit a men's physique pose, like walking on stage. Dice roll, spin, front pose. Should I do that for the judge?
No.
So I'll literally say that's like
I'm more like, I guess I'm a very traditional person when it comes to things. There are certain ways to do things that have been the way. I don't try to reinvent the wheel with certain things that you see really trendy nowadays. Is to like find new ways to do the same thing, right? What ways can I eat? I could become a bodybuilder with the macros. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
Right? This is like a super simple thing, and you don't have to people that are, I don't know. I always tell people that like my super intelligent clients that I have, they always suck usually because they're like, I read this should happen. I don't give a fuck what you read. I care about application, and what you read doesn't translate. Just because things are not just black and white, there's a gray area. So sometimes people that are really sophisticated, read textbooks and they're like, okay, this has to happen. And as you know,
this doesn't happen.
it doesn't work like that, right? So it's definitely different. You're up. Next pet peeve. Gym pet peeve.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was really stuck on that social media one. That one kind of gets me. Gym pet peeve. I don't know. I guess because like I haven't been in the gym recently, I can't really. Kind of one is like, I guess not all gyms have a posing room, but here with the posing room, right? If I'm in there and I'm doing something, like I'm not taking a lot of time. I'm considerate of other people waiting in line. But what bothers me is the inconsideration of people just jumping in when you're doing something. It's like, I get it, it's a shared room, but have some courtesy. If you're doing something, right? Let's say I'm filming a video in there, posing video. I don't take a lot of time. I take like a minute to do a posing video, and I'm done. I'm out of the way. But when kids just jump in and they just start doing it too, I'm like, bro, you couldn't just like wait a minute. I treat people how I
gym part 2.
Bro, I treat people how I want to be treated.
Right.
So like, I wait outside the posing room until someone's done, and then when I think they're done, I'm like, hey, am I good to come in? They're like, yeah, come in, and I go in. But then I don't get treated that way. Obviously, I don't have a sign on my head saying treat me this way.
No,
which is
for
fine.
sure.
But I'm saying it's my pet peeve.
All you can do is, like I said, treat others like that golden rule you learn when you're a child, right? Treat others the way you want to be treated.
That's what I'm doing, Dad.
So that's all you can do, and all you can continue to do. As far as the annoyance with that, I could see that. But I guess being out of the gym now for a year, I guess I've just noticed certain things. I guess that's why I brought up that topic of gym pet peeves. And I guess something that's also super popular is competing now. Everyone wants to compete.
Yes, dude.
right?
I feel like I contributed to that because I was a young kid that competed and did very well. But damn it, man.
I always
There's some
ask
people that
like, hey,
shouldn't.
why do you want to compete? And sometimes for some people, you'd be surprised. They're like caught off guard.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is not a class in school. Like, why are you competing? Or you just want pictures? You just be honest, because if that's the case,
It's a trendy thing to do, bro, and it's like it's kind of it's annoying, but it's kind of cool because like at regional levels, competitions got worse.
yeah,
There's less to worry about.
no, and a lot of people do. It's
Summer
always been
training.
that way, but because the shows there's shows every weekend now, pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Right, but some people will say, "Oh, they won," and then you look,
What'd
and
you
it's
win?
like
True novice,
there
your
was
class.
nothing. There's millions of classes,
Uh-huh.
and then sometimes there's like one person in your class. You didn't win. You got last. You
Oh
it
my
was top
God.
two. I got top two. There's only two people.
Here's a big pet peeve I have. I'm not going to say names here, but you know what I'm talking. You know who I'm talking about here. So, being that there's so many classes, right? There could be some people that don't understand that. Mm-hmm. And when you win an overall, that means the whole show. That means you're open class. So there was a person who had a client, guy on social media. Mm-hmm. He won the overall and novice, which novice means you're a person that's never, or true novice,
yeah.
which you never competed before. And that's what true novice is, right? Never competed before.
Yeah.
So he won the overall in that, or it was novice. But either or, novice is you never won a show.
Yeah.
So he won that overall. And the coach posted it saying, overall men's physique winner, or men's physique overall winner. Didn't specify it was novice. So he made his coaching look a little bit better than what it actually was by saying that this was an overall winner, which, yeah, he was an overall winner in the novice division, not the open division, which is what matters.
No, I think
Big
that's
pet
just,
peeve.
again, it goes back, it ties into social media, right? Projecting as if the grass is greener on their side,
Yeah.
and that's not the case. Look at this show. That same person could have been at another show, and they would have done terrible. Mm-hmm. But you don't control who shows up. I guess tying that in is, so other than everyone competing, you have these same people that compete one time, and then their coach.
Yeah, that's weird, bro.
And I just don't understand, like, where along the lines
Are you qualified?
the person, they have no educational background. So people, if you can't spell, you can't put a sentence together, you don't know what the fuck you're doing with grammar, you shouldn't be telling people how to do things. No fun.
I don't know how to. Based off this episode, I obviously don't have good grammar. I just said typically. I obviously don't have
what
good
you're
grammar.
gaining is at least experience, and
Yeah.
still to where you are now, you're one of the few people. You haven't went and sold programs and sold training and
No.
dieted people.
I've done a training app, which is literally, it's done now, but we're gonna reintroduce something soon, me and Grant.
Right.
But what it was literally showing my exact training every single day on this app. But like, no, dude, even as much as I've done preps, like I'm still not comfortable coaching someone throughout a prep. Like there's all these people that jump into being a coach. They don't know a quarter of your knowledge. If they came up to you with like with the situation saying, "Hey, I'm not digesting stuff properly, man. What should I do?" They'd probably tell them like apple cider vinegar, digestive enzyme, something simple. I mean, you obviously know the full extensive list. Like you made people. What's the test done that you've done
There's
for?
GI mapping.
Yeah, GI maps
There's
and stuff like
tons
that.
of,
Like,
you know, gut health is really important. And I think it's overplayed a little bit lately.
Yeah.
But that's like the second brain to the body, and a lot of people start to have issues as you get older. How you used to be able to consume and eat food is no longer the same. Things change. But
That was a
yeah,
good one.
I think it's very common. I just get a lot of people that are coming from some coaches from the area, from other areas that work with other competitors or something, and they have very basic issues. And it's just like, hey, that coach is clearly giving you what was given to them. It worked for them, so they're giving it to you. And like I said, if you give the same thing to 10 people, you'll find 2 people it might work with. But what about the other 8?
yeah.
And then what you'll do, you'll project that on social media as if you're doing really well, right?
It'll show the highlights for sure.
Which is crazy. And then, oh man, I'm gonna keep going.
Keep going, bro. I don't have any more. I'm better than you.
The females that are competing, like being prescribed testosterone,
Oh yeah, you know more about them than I
it's
do.
like it's the most common thing I see now.
Transitioning.
And it's crazy. Transitioning, it just doesn't, like, why? If you're competing for the first time and you're a bikini competitor, why the fuck are you using testosterone?
That's
Seriously.
crazy. A lot of people think it's like Anavar or maybe
Like,
a
there are
SARM.
very few cases where, hey, there is like a medical reason that you would need this at your
Yeah.
age. If you're a girl under 25 and you're competing in bikini, you don't need all these drugs. That's crazy. You just need to learn how to train, because 99% of them are just taking photos. You see a set they do, and hey, unless you're a genetic anomaly, you might have to learn how to train a little bit. Get uncomfortable. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing. Most people don't want to get uncomfortable with anything, whether that's pushing food a little bit, gaining a little body fat, all those things. So yeah, it's super common, man. I get people all the time, like, coming from different coaches, and you can hear it. They shouldn't sound like me.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
I remember when I was younger, I was training at Tillis. There was a couple girls. They weren't bikini girls. They were bigger, whatever that division was. But their voices were deep, and I think they said it was from like Glenn or something like that. Like Glenn, I don't know. No, it wasn't Glenn.
No.
Whatever. So the testosterone these women take, right? It's obviously not the same vial I'm going to be getting and you're getting.
No, they'll get the very small. So a typical testipinate vial from a pharmacy is going to be usually 200 milligrams.
Yeah.
Maybe 250 milligrams.
Okay.
Right? Other compounding pharmacies you'll see is a lot less, like so maybe a 10 milligram vial or something.
For a
like
female?
That. Yeah, because what they'll take generally is very, very, very low dose.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So obviously these women aren't getting prescribed testosterone because they're a female, unless they're going for, a transition surgery. I can understand they're getting prescribed that. But if they're a bodybuilder, they're not going to their doctor asking for testosterone, so they're getting from an underground lab. So do underground labs sell like 10 milligram vials for females?
Some of them will
Really?
not. Yeah, it'd be more common, and it's not like... Again, and there's also crooked doctors out there to where, maybe a friend that started a business, brings in clients, gets blood work. Hey, your testosterone should be here. They have no idea. That doesn't make any fucking sense. I've had crazy figure girls that I've coached. They don't take testosterone. They might look like they take testosterone. They don't even consider fathoming taking testosterone.
Yeah.
And like you can't look. People just don't know how to look at blood work and understand. Like, okay, like where were you day one? Where are you now? So I don't know. That really bothers me when people and then the Cytomel, T3, Synthroid, all of these things, right?
I
So all these
don't
thyroid
take that
medications.
stuff, so I don't even know.
You'll see these crazy transformations where again, I use the word fat because I'm just very blunt, man. I was fat, okay? I see girls that are fat
Yeah.
get in crazy shape. And it's so clear, hey, you are probably eating T3 like it's candy, and you are going to get fat again. And it's going to be
Afterwards.
horrible because now mentally it's going to be super challenging. When you go from being a fat ass like I was, getting in shape, and then reversing back to being a fatty, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
And it's like super common because, again, they're being given advice from someone that doesn't know what it does, and they did it themselves, and maybe they have better genetics. Maybe they're still taking the same dose, but that will ruin you as a female. Like, guys are very much more responsive in terms of you cold turkey something, guys bounce back a lot faster than girls. And it's not just a mental thing. It's literally just, hey, their bodies are not the same as ours.
Okay.
So when we're taking T3 or something and we want to induce that, we'll see coaches, I guess, that are, I give this person 400, 500 grams of carbs. Well, yeah, because you're giving them 37.5 mcgs of T3, which is crazy. So if you're going to give someone a certain amount of, you're counteracting, you're projecting that, I feed my clients, they're doing no cardio. Tell the true story.
Yeah.
And explain the effects of that person when they want to go back to being a normal person. So it doesn't exist.
Oh, this is cool, bro. You're sharing knowledge. This is awesome.
I'm trying to share some knowledge.
No, I like it because like even like me, like
I'm
I'm absorbing it myself because like this is something I'm not familiar with T3. 'Cause, like I think I've used it once. I've used it once with you, and we never touched it ever since. And that prep wasn't even that good. And like I don't know shit about like
It's
T3, T4, T2, whatever.
Again,
So
it's just
I was
takes-
absorbing
it
that
takes
knowledge,
time, man,
understanding
for
it.
people to like. You can't just compete. You only have so many preps in you.
Shit.
I guess is the main thing.
Yeah.
We good? You only have so many preps in you, and as you know, you've done a couple preps that you had one prep. I think it was a little tough. We were dieting for a while. Your body wasn't responding.
What nationals? Oh no, North Americans.
Yeah, because it was extended with COVID and all that.
Yeah.
And your body just didn't respond the way it should have. Like
Well,
you went
also-
to a prep now, being that what?
Also, in the plan you gave me, you had HIIT in there, and I said, nah, fuck that.
So,
I said, I wasn't even doing
so
HIIT.
obviously, there's a variable of following what's written, right? That's the one crucial variable.
Bro.
Where you try to get on the same page with somebody.
I'm not doing it.
So assuming someone's following that, it's just you got to make sure our food gets to where it needs to be for prep to begin. So like, it's cool to have the idea of competing, which is really trendy.
Yeah.
But some people aren't fit to like.
To.
It's not going to be a great job right now. Like you're not in a good place. If you're doing tons of cardio, not eating much food, you're struggling there. But if you're doing tons of cardio, not eating a lot of food, and then you want to prep, you kind of don't have anywhere to go but drug yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, which obviously we've been doing very well with our preps, me and you together.
Yeah, your food is. I don't
We
think
always
your prep's
start
ever
off-
been like. If I looked at your plan, and I gave it to some other people. I think they would be like, "Oh, that's a walk in the park."
Yeah.
But again, everyone's different. For you, low carbs is maybe on someone's higher day at times. But everyone's a little different, man. And it takes time. And building it up in off season, titrating food up the way we are,
Yeah.
being in a maintenance or a surplus for an extended period of time, makes prep easier. And
Yeah.
also, this is where you build the muscle, not when you're 8 weeks out from a show. You're not building muscle.
Kyle, last night I smoked a joint. I got high.
You smoked.
Yes, Kyle, I have a photo of you smoking a joint in my house.
I've never done that.
Anyways, I smoked a joint, and then Allie was like in another room. I was like, you know what, bro? I was like, I'm gonna pose right now, naked. So I was posing naked, and I was high. And I was like checking myself out because like I was been training for the last couple of days. And bro, I had the biggest smile on my face, in a side chest. My glute was like a nice round, like perfect circle. And then my hamstring had a nice drop. I felt like I had a really good hamstring pose last night. I've never hit it that good before in my life. And my chest has looked different now. I think that the gyno surgery improved my chest. But anyways, I was smiling, hitting that side chest, looked very nice. So
You're happy with how you look for taking a nice break.
yeah, really happy with how I
Which is
look.
cool. Like I said, because it's not like we're starting prep yet.
No, which then I was thinking, I was like, dude, we got like 3 months of an off season push plus like 5 months of prep. 20 weeks out, we start prep.
No,
So
you're
that should
in
be
a really good
nasty.
spot, and I'm glad that you're able to be all in with yourself and finally, in my opinion, take it as serious as you
It's serious,
should.
yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna say this now here on the podcast. Today's date is August 23rd, and in August 20th, 2024, I'm hoping to be about 240.
By August 20th.
240 fasted, yeah.
It's possible.
I think it's possible because of this. My last reverse, I gained 30 pounds and was still lean, right? In 8 weeks. Now let's say my stage weight is, I predict it's going to be around 205. And plus 30 pounds, be around 235. And then if I do it correctly again, and I can do even better, I'm going to be around 240.
You can be around 240.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my goal's always been 240 fasted.
That was the Wi-Fi.
That was the Wi-Fi in the house.
Yeah.
Yo, 240 fasted. I called it next year at this time. That's the goal.
Did he tell you about the guy?
He knows about the guy.
What guy?
In LA, there was a Chad. Actually, his name was Brad. Was his name Brad? No, it was Matt.
Matt.
But he's like 28. It was during COVID times, and he told us he ran Trend throughout whole COVID because his friend told him he wouldn't get COVID from it. So he was blasting Trend during COVID, and we went at Chipotle with a couple friends, and he's like he has the highest pitch voice for such a gear user, and he's like, bro, he's like, I just matched this 18-year-old on Tinder. I'm like, dude, you're like 28. He's like, I don't care, she's legal. I'm like, oh. He's like, he's such a hulking man. He's like, dude, I woke up 240 fasted. I'm gonna tell her that on the date tomorrow. I was like, oh, dude, this is so gross. Such a random side story.
Uneducated. Trent doesn't give you COVID, huh?
Dude, I also, another pet peeve
Thought you didn't have any more.
came to mind.
All right, go on.
How Tren has become so normalized, and it is not a great steroid. It sucks, dude. It's horrible for you.
Yeah.
In terms of your health benefits, like what it actually does to like building muscle, bro, you can get away with so much like NPP or like DECA, right? Oh my god, like never would I ever want to choose to use Tren to build muscle to get a better for prep, it's understandable because it's
For
used.
some people, yeah. I mean,
But like, dude, how normalized it is amongst teens, which is crazy. And then even nowadays with like there's some competitors out there that make content blasting Tren, and like, bro, you look like shit. Your physique is stringy, it's grainy due to the Tren you're taking and whatever else too. But like, dude, I've seen these kids that just competed and they glamorize how they take Tren.
right.
They look so bad. They're like stringy with just some veins
No.
and some hardness and graininess in their skin, and it doesn't look good because they don't know how to properly bodybuild. They're missing so many aspects. They competed previously. I saw they were like flat on stage. Their progesterone was probably high. They have like saggy glutes. I'm like, bro, like you're like Tren. It doesn't make you a good bodybuilder. You got to understand how to be a good bodybuilder. Like everyone stop saying Tren.
Again, everyone looks as if there's a magic pill for fat loss. There's a magic pill for building muscle. And yes, Tren is very popularized. It's
Yeah.
horrible for you. And I think there's people I've coached that have taken Tren in their off seasons. They don't even compete before, and then as far as me reintroducing it, if I reintroduce it, they look 20 times better, and they don't even need it usually. And they're just like, oh, I look better now than I did when I was using this. And it's just like, yeah, because supplements are not the first thing that's in line of priority when it comes to, like, I don't know, crafting the physique you desire.
Food.
What?
Food, right? No?
Food and training, I think they're
Who's
neck
the
and neck.
person you're talking about in the off-season taking trend? Write down your phone and show me. Write
You
down.
should know who it is.
I should? Give me a hint. Give me a hint only I would know. All right, in the meantime, while Kyle's doing this, I don't really know what else to say. Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, I didn't know he took it in the off-season.
Oh.
Yeah.
Makes
Understandable.
sense, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
But,
silly.
but it's like, that's like one example of someone that bought in, realized, like, fuck, like, I kind of wasted, like,
yeah, it's not
some
shit.
health. You
Yeah.
know, anytime you're taking something, there's repercussions for everything, and people just don't know yet. So all these SARMs and the research on them, who knows what it's going to yield in 10, 15 years? We don't
Yeah.
know, right? But as far as taking certain things, there's no reason. If you're not a competitor, and a good competitor at that, you shouldn't be taking certain things. It's not going to do anything. If you don't have muscle, you don't have muscle. Just like a diuretic if you're competing, right,
Yeah.
in peak week. If you're fat, you're fat.
Diuretic's not going to help you.
Diuretic ain't going to do nothing for you.
Diazide.
Oh, man. Crazy.
Crazy shit. Grant, how far are we on this podcast?
Hour 2.
Oh, really? We hit an hour. That kind of went by. That was pretty good.
When you're irked, it goes by fast.
When you're earthed,
When we're
grounded.
What?
Grounded? Like, is that what you're trying to say? Grounded here?
No, why not? We're talking about our gym pet peeves.
Oh.
Things that bother.
Kyle, I'm
They're
waiting.
not negative things. So.
All right, something negative. I'm waiting for a diet plan.
Right. I got my computer behind me, man. So if we finish this podcast up early, I'll whip it out.
Do you actually?
I do. I really brought it.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. I've been making my own diet plan for the last 2 days from my training.
Yeah, did you?
Yes. So you bumped up remember you told me to have my meal 1, which is breakfast.
Yeah.
To have 75 grams of carbs plus
Yeah,
the banana,
25, yep.
right? So every single meal has literally been 75 grams of carbs. And then like meal 1, 75 grams, meal 2, pre-workout, 75 grams, plus a banana and some honey. So it's like 105 maybe.
Yeah.
And then intra-workout has been 50. Meal 3, which is like the post-gym one, has been 75. One after that, again, 70. They're all 75, all the way to meal 6.
Okay.
And then I think meals like 5 and 6, I added fats. I had like 20 grams of fat in meal 4. And then meal 6 is 210 beef. And then 25 grams of almond butter.
Okay.
So that's what I've been doing as of late. Just thought I'd give you a heads up.
I don't care.
You don't care?
I'm going to give you what to follow, and
But you're gonna, what if I lose weight? What if I go in a negative direction?
you have to stop being so fixated on the scale. What I want you to be fixated on
My physique is improved.
is how you're improving your mind-muscle connection. Are you getting stronger? I don't need you to carry around a logbook and be a nerd. But there are certain exercises I do care about you getting stronger, because you should get stronger.
So can I tell what I want to prioritize? We're coming back in here?
In terms of training?
Yeah.
Sure.
RDLs.
Right, we touched on that.
Yeah, RDLs is a big prioritization of me, as well as...
I think continuing to bring up your hamstrings, upper body, the main things.
Grant, you got to show Kyle that clip of the RDLs from yesterday. Do you have it up?
You look good?
Yeah, bro. Can you watch it right here in the podcast?
Yeah, I could watch it.
And then Grant, can you insert the clip in the podcast too so they can see it? Fuck it.
I hope this isn't an import set.
It was a great set.
Yeah, bro, it was good.
Okay.
It was actually really good.
Why am I called Kike in your phone?
Dude, that was my contact name for so long for you. I honestly, it was a legit typo, Kike. And then for one day, I was filming my day in the life, which had the most viewed YouTube videos of my whole videos.
Oh my god, it's such.
No, I changed it for that video to be Kyle because I was like, that it would definitely look so bad. Thank God I did. What is a Kike again? It's
It's a Jewish person.
oh
It's like the N word.
God. This is me beforehand, right? I don't have it
Yeah.
in my hand. Some toe elevation there. That's a big butt.
This looks wide. Was that? What is that? 219.
Yesterday was 216. Today I'm 219. Did you like it?
No, it's not. But do you prefer dumbbells over a barbell?
Yes. So
I was literally just like, nah.
It's okay.
I did dumbbells
Pretty good.
I did barbells last week, and I was struggling a little bit.
What were you saying? Feeling it?
Yes,
Okay.
feeling it. I feel more in my back and stuff. So I was like, you know what? Nick Walker posted yesterday Smith machine. He said it's his favorite over dumbbells and barbell.
Yep.
I was like, you know what? Smith machine wasn't open. Let me try dumbbell today because I used to do dumbbell and I really liked it. So I tried dumbbell, felt great. Right now it's my favorite. But I'm gonna try Smith machine next time I go in. See which one I like the most because I also did Smith machine last year and I also liked it then. So between dumbbell and Smith machine are definitely my favorites. But what I've noticed with the dumbbells, I've kind of helped myself, has been instead of just holding it like this, I curl my wrist up a little bit. Don't know why it helps me so much, but it does. I have no strain on my back, and I'm able to like hip hinge better. So if it works, it works, right?
Whatever you feel activates your hamstring the most is what's most important.
For sure. You want to wrap it up here? You got anything else you wanted to say?
Nah, you tell me. I'm trying to think. I
think it's pretty good. I think we did pretty good. Third episode, you got a fly on your head, fly ass. I wonder if they saw it. It went right in front of the camera.
else you wanted to like I don't know.
No, I definitely.
Comments or anything? I don't remember.
No, I think we mentioned in the comments. I think we appreciate your support. We've been really excited. I've been sending photos in the group chat of all of us. I'm like, dude, when it hit like 4K, I was like, hell yeah, 4K, then 6K, 8K, 10K. I was like, dude, 15K. So we're all very hyped with the support you guys have been giving us on the podcast. We're 1 week ahead. So by the time it's like uploads and stuff, we're 1 week ahead. And we're going to we'll be in LA actually by the time this is live.
This will come out right before the block party?
Yes, right before the block party, actually. So when this is going on, we'll pretty much be in LA. So if you guys are here or in LA, Long Beach, for the Young LA convention, come say hi if you bought tickets. We'll be there. And out there, we will be having some guests on the podcast. Did you contact the guest?
I did.
Did they reply?
They did.
Yes or
One
no?
of them did.
Yes
They
or
said it's fine.
who?
I don't want to give away the podcast people. They're all good.
No. You understand?
Both. They'll be good. But yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. So yeah, I have a guest coming on. You have a guest coming on. And then who is the other person you hit up? I told you to hit them up too. I just don't remember. Oh, was it the? All right, we're gonna end it there, guys. Thank you for watching the podcast. This is episode 3 of the Iron Bros, and yeah, you can support us on Young LA. Code Sir, code Ant, code Grant behind the screens, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one in a penthouse.